Today I want to talk about my lymphedema. It is not something I've spent a whole lot of time talking about or taking pictures of, but it's a tricky condition to live with because there are no strict rules you can follow that will make it better. In fact, sometimes you can struggle even to keep it stable. Symptoms change, its behaviour changes, and suddenly one day something you used to be able to do, today you can't. This might be a temporary situation, or it might be a permanent one. Suffice to say, it's pretty difficult to live with. What are the symptoms? Well, limb swelling and pain both vary considerably all the time. More often than not, if I am limping, it's because of the lymphedema, not the prosthetic limb. I've lost movement in my ankle as well. Self-management of this condition includes wearing a thick hospital-grade compression garment all day, every day. Obviously, this can be pretty unpleasant in summer. Garments need to be replaced every 4 to 6 months. I usually have 3 on the go at the same time. This means I have to wash and dry them every day, 365 days a year. I also go to manual lymphatic drainage. That appointment is twice a week. Each one is 75 minutes long. To manage the pain in between those appointments, I always have my leg elevated when I am sitting anywhere, anytime, any place. Sometimes I will wear a Mobiderm leg wrap, which goes from my toes to the top of my leg, maybe even 3 to 6 times a day when it's bad, to help manage the pain. So as you can see, this is a time-consuming thing to deal with. I did trial a compression pump, which was super helpful for lymphedema pain management, but ACC are refusing to cover the cost to keep that machine, despite the fact that they cover the lymphedema as a treatment injury. So I have had to return it. And with that, the pain levels are increasing again, of course. How does it affect my everyday life? Some days, the effects can be minimal. Other days, extensive. The textbooks say walking, running, cycling and swimming are all good forms of exercise to help manage a lymphedema. The theory is the constant muscle contractions associated with you moving help to move the lymphatic fluid around, which would normally just pool in your limb otherwise. The trouble is, a lymphedema does not follow any rules. It is not the same any given day or week and varies massively person to person. There is only one more stage of lymphedema that is above mine that is more severe. That is, mine is considered to be chronic and the next one is severe. And that would mean that the swelling is visible. With mine, elevating the leg does not relieve the swelling, and if it's more severe, the leg is swollen even more, almost looks like an elephant leg, and there is a high risk of infection, and the lymphatic fluid often leaks through the skin. I do not want to get to that stage if I possibly can help it. So, a few weeks ago, a couple of 1.5 kilometre walks were totally fine, and this week, an easy and relatively short bike ride outside, compared to what I would usually ride inside, has given me a world of problems, and when I got up this morning, I could barely walk. So, as you can see, planning anything sports-wise is fraught with issues. And this has only come up recently when I have gotten my amputated leg strong enough to overtake the other side. Lymphedema is not considered to be a disability. The same approach is taken in the UK, like go figure. That means that sporting-wise, no special arrangements can be made to account for it. I quite often struggle to walk, and the distance changes vastly depending on the day, as I have explained, yet I am categorised in triathlon as PTS4, which means I cannot use a handbike or a wheelchair. Initially, my struggle to walk was limited by the amputated leg. Now the tides have turned and the amputated leg is now strong enough, and it is the other good leg that is causing the limitations. I love cycling, but my lymphedema does not love cycling. Honestly, this is devastating for me because as we stand at the moment, running, anything other than a short walk, and cycling all seem to be fraught with issues. And they are all caused by the lymphedema. The very things that apparently I'm meant to do, that are meant to help. So, planning how exercise and completing sporting events might look for me in the future is anyone's guess. All I can do is to continue to keep challenging the norms, listen to my body, and be ready to try a million other ways if one of them does not work. Sometimes I have the strength for this, sometimes I struggle with this. So the next time you see either me or anyone else in a wheelchair rolling past when you know that they can also walk, just consider there for a moment what other world of hidden medical issues they may have that causes them daily pain. We are not faking it. We are simply doing the best we can with what we have been dealt.